Now, as a professor, I've been shocked at the number of videos which are suggesting that AI can help you with your essays and assignments. However, students must be cautious when using ChatGPT for two reasons. Firstly, plagiarism and cheating. But secondly, it's important for you to understand the less obvious dangers that negatively affect your learning, future employment, and importantly for you right now, your grades. And that's why in this video, I'm going to go through 6 hidden dangers of AI and ChatGPT for students. Now, professors and unis are always banging on that a key reason you are there is to develop critical thinking, and that it's not just an academic skill, but it's something transferable to the rest of your life in your employment and your relationships. Now, however, relying so heavily upon ChatGPT is ultimately going to hinder the development of your critical thinking. Now, this is because you make sense of ideas through evaluating them and creating relationships to ultimately form an argument, and you only learn this skill through putting in the reps of doing, and this develops your ability to synthesize ever more complex thoughts. But if you're relying heavily on AI and ChatGPT to produce these links, you're going to be missing this key independent skill. So although it's tempting because it's just quicker and easier, you don't further yourself and you learn nothing because it's no different from getting your dad or your friend to do your homework. Secondly, answers that you get from ChatGPT will lack that human context and intuitive understanding. This is because it generates responses based on statistical patterns rather than real comprehension. So this can therefore lead to misinterpretations, particularly when dealing with complex academic fields. For instance, how you as a student pull together sources through the experience that you've had on a module, being around students and professors. It's specific to that place. And there will have been lines of thought in this place that AI just isn't privy to or can be aware of. Now, an example of this is when a professor of a module might push a particular critical perspective or a connection that they're wanting you to make. This has been taught to you and it needs to be demonstrated in the assignment, and it's therefore going to be beyond the academic patterns that ChatGPT can pick up. And this is because it's outside of the classroom. Now, thirdly, ChatGPT can stifle your creativity. And again, creativity is often a key learning outcome of being at university, and it's an important transferable skill when you're going to try and be successful in the world of work. And the issue is, if you go to ChatGPT for easy answers, it's just going to discourage you from engaging in a creative process and developing your own original ideas. And importantly, it's often through the creative actions that we actually learn. A good example of this is problem solving, because if you're doing something like group work, you need active participation, and you're going to go through processes of creative discovery together in acts of collaboration and joining up ideas. So the important thing is that education should be fostering innovation and, your own unique perspectives, but ChatGPT responses are just going to discourage this. Now, another thing is it can affect your mark because it may generate inaccurate info with limited subject expertise. At university, you're being taught by and you're learning from professors who might have been researching a field all of their lives and have such a nuanced, familiar understanding about the arguments and the debates and the happenings. Ultimately, all teaching is inherently personal and from the module designer's perspective. AI and ChatGPT will just never possess this, and although it's trained on a vast amount of diverse sources, it may lack the expertise in the interpretation of knowledge, and it's always going to lack the authority that a seasoned professor has. And I think it becomes a question of trust, because students just shouldn't blindly trust the answers from ChatGPT as an authority figure. Also, there are ethical concerns which can endanger your grades and even lead to academic misconduct. At its most basic levels, students cannot use ChatGPT to generate essays or assignments, or you're just going to be charged with plagiarism. And getting ChatGPT to generate text just treads a really dangerous line that can easily be crossed. For example, what if a student is incorporating ChatGPT into their working routines as a study aid, and when you're struggling and in need of help, you're just going to end up asking ChatGPT to generate some text? It's okay for institutions to say, oh, don't use ChatGPT on assignments, but you've got to be aware that it's at your fingertips, and therefore you've got to be in charge of constant management and awareness of your engagement with it. And this leads us on to becoming too dependent on ChatGPT to be solving your problems. It's okay saying that ChatGPT can act as a study buddy, but you are missing out on some of the most vital aspects of learning, and that's the social aspects. It's the actual reason why these places exist. You're there to be around people and learn from them. Education is more than just finding quick answers. It's about developing skills, life skills. Now, I'm not saying that you should never use ChatGPT, and I've actually done a really helpful rundown here which will show you some of the advantages for studying.